Hello, welcome. Tonight will be the night that we talk about shadow people. Let's start with the first story titled Home Alone and Never Again. Every Thursday night, my brother, sister, and father go out and play music at a restaurant down the street. But a few months ago, the whole family went down to play and I stayed home to chill. It was about 8:30 p.m. when I went out to our enclosed veranda. What's a veranda? Oh, this is a veranda. I learned a new word today. While I was waiting, I saw something move outside slowly, and at first I thought it was the wind. But then I saw it again. It was about 6 feet tall, triangle-like hands. No face and a lot darker than the night. I still thought it was nothing until it happened more frequently and I got more and more scared, so I ran inside. Triangle-like hands. Okay. I thought my mother was going to come home soon, so I grabbed hold of my bravery and went back outside. Why are you going back outside? I walked up and down the veranda. I was still seeing the thing walking around the house. I noticed that it was not just one, but 3 or 4. The way I would have started blasting. No, I'm just kidding. I don't condone violence. It wasn't for much longer that my family came home. But what my elder brother said really shook me. He told me that as he was walking home, he saw a dark figure on the roof peering into my bedroom skylight. What? That's giving the movie Signs. Have you seen that movie? With the alien when they see it standing on the rooftop? Just no. And it's just staring at them through. No. That night, I slept against the wall, traumatized, with only my cat to comfort me. Oh, the kitty. The next day, I love that I'm more concerned about the kitty. But is the cat okay? The next day, we discovered that they were probably shadow people and that they might have been around for a few weeks as the atmosphere outside had changed after a week or two. This night has changed everything, and I will never be alone in a house. And if I am, I will be nowhere near a window. This next story is titled Watching Us Sleep. I don't like the idea of anything or anyone watching me sleep. I moved in with my boyfriend a 1.5 years ago. We have been together 5 years now, good for you, and are expecting our first child. Congrats. He moved into the apartment before I joined him. I was never really a fan of this place. Though I have never been plagued by hauntings, I can be extremely empathetic and affected by energies. Same girl. I have to spend a lot of time alone to recenter myself. Same. I felt some bad vibes after a week of living here, and I decided to sage the entire apartment. After that, I kind of settled in. I always sage. This brings me to a few weeks ago. My boyfriend had gone to use the bathroom, and when he came out, he said he was startled because he saw the shadow of a person at the end of the hallway, which leads to the living room. This was in the middle of the day. That kind of creeped us both out. Did you guys go check? Check if that's not an intruder or something. A week later, we were in bed. My boyfriend fell asleep before me, and I noticed he was talking in his sleep. I just did a video on sleepwalking and sleep talking. Check that out. Which he has done before, but not in quite a long time. I eventually was able to fall asleep, but a couple hours later, I was woken up, suddenly to the sound of him talking. We were laying down, facing each other in the middle of the bed, when I opened my eyes and saw the shadow of a person right behind him. No, it was just the upper portion of a person. I saw a head, shoulders, chest, arms, head, shoulders, knees and toes, and hands that were resting on my boyfriend's side. It was touching him. No details. It looked like it was looking down on us, sleeping. Throw a chancla at it or something. What? No. Since I have a hard time sleeping and I was actually tired that night, I didn't want to acknowledge this thing and make a deal about it because I tend to freak myself out before bed when I read ghost stories from YGS, which is the website where I'm getting these stories from, and I'll link it down below. So I asked my boyfriend, "Are you okay?" for some reason, but he's asleep. I wasn't scared and I didn't feel any bad energy coming from the shadow. My boyfriend mumbled something in his sleep and I laid my head back down and dozed off again. How do you fall asleep after that? I haven't experienced anything like this before or since, but 2 nights ago when he was working a second job between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m., I was trying to sleep. I was woken up to the feeling of being pushed. I looked at my cat and she was sleeping at my feet, undisturbed. I managed to doze off, but I was woken up again to a much stronger push. After that, I just turned Hulu on my phone and waited for my boyfriend to get home. I told him about what happened and he said that I tend to jerk when I first fall asleep sometimes. I just thought it was weird because that has never happened to me. I have never jerked myself awake like that. It felt like someone was shoving me from behind. That's terrifying. Do you think she was dreaming or it was real? It could have been a dream, right? But that's still terrifying to wake up and just see a shadow standing there and touching, like resting its hands on your boyfriend. Like, what was it doing? Like, there, child. There. Because she did say she reads ghost stories before she goes to sleep. I am so toxic, I would turn on the light and be like, "Who are you, bitch? No, kidding. Why are you touching my man?" Okay, next historia. The man is back. What man? Don't come back, man. So to clear things up right off the bat, this story is being submitted on my girlfriend's behalf, but I have some experience with it too. My girlfriend and I, both 21 years old, have been dating for just under a year and a half now. I met her on a personal vacation at my parents' house in New York while I live in North Carolina, as I am stationed here. We have been dating long distance until recently. Roughly 3 weeks ago, she moved in with me, our first apartment here in North Carolina. My girlfriend has a gift. She used to be able to see people and hear people who have passed on. This was when she was younger, roughly between 8 to 16 years old. After 16, she stopped seeing and hearing them altogether. But there's no gift like that doesn't have a dark side. She told me about who she calls the man. A very skinny and pale man with pitch black eyes. She could feel his presence whenever he was near, very oppressing. She told me about how when she was younger, he would sometimes be in a corner of her room at night looking at her. No, yikes. A few times did I say yikes? Okay, sorry. A few times he was actually on top of her, pinning her to the bed. Other than that, he wouldn't harm her. She told me that she heard him mumble or like whisper, but could never make out what he was saying. This all occurred when she lived with her aunt and stopped when she moved. Fast forward to her moving in with me about 4 years later. We had just finished getting settled into our cozy 1-bed, 1-bath apartment. Relatively new, built in 2013. Not a worry in the world. But then she told me about how right before the move, she started seeing shadow people. Not harmful or anything, just shadow people out of the corner of her eye, minding their own business. Do you guys ever see that? I see stuff like that out of the corner of my eye sometimes. But then sometimes I think like, oh, it's probably just my hair or trash or something. Moving on. But she also felt like she was being watched. Then it continued when she came down to NC, seeing them in the corner or at a quick glance, but nothing really that would obstruct with her day. I never saw anything like this in our new place. I occasionally heard footsteps in the night, but I just waved it off as our neighbors. One night, about a week into us living there, it was roughly about 12:15 a.m. We laid in bed with a lamp on our cell phone, checking Facebook and things like that. When we decided to go to sleep, I turned the light off and closed my eyes. I heard her start to cry while trying to be quiet. I rolled over asking her, "What's wrong?" She tucked her face into my neck and cried and whispered, "The man is back. He's here." I asked where he was and she replied with, "On the ceiling." No, why is it always on the ceiling? I looked up at our ceiling fan and saw a black mass, kind of shaped like a bent oval. No light source could have casted this shadow, and it was getting darker. I quickly turned the light on and held her for a little while. I then went to my closet and dug out my Bible. She said she felt his presence leave at that point, but asked me to read some of it to maybe comfort her. As I was reading maybe a page worth, she stopped me, told me that the more I read, the more she was feeling sick to her stomach. I began to hear footsteps in our living room walking around. Heard them walk up to our bedroom door, but that was the last time I heard them. The whole ordeal lasted about 10 minutes. Those must have been the longest 10 minutes. The fact that you also saw something and then heard footsteps and her feeling sick, that's scary. What if it's attached itself to her? Since that night, about a week and a half ago, we haven't experienced anything except for the occasional shadow person minding their own business. I check every part of the room when I go to sleep at night and keep our Bible out on the nightstand. I can't tell if this is a malevolent spirit. I think it is, child. A demon masquerading as a pale, skinny man or whatever. I just want answers. I suggested church, but she's iffy on the idea. We want to burn some sage, but have yet to find a local shop that sells it. Contact me. I'll hook you up. Any suggestions would be appreciated. Thank you. That's terrifying. That is terrifying. I don't mess with that. See, a lot of people say that though, right? You should move out. But the thing is, he's saying that she's experienced this since she was little, and now she moved with him to like a different state, I believe. So she's living with him in a complete different state, and now she's seeing it there. So it seems like that thing's following her. It's attached to her. I hope you guys are doing better and that this is not happening anymore, because that's terrifying. Last story, this one's titled Shadow People and a Little Girl's Voice. Why is it always little kids? Why is it always little kids? I'm scared. I fear children. No, I'm just kidding. Hey readers, I am here to stop by because I wanted to give an update. So this is an update about some things that have been going on. So I kind of did some research on this story, and apparently this person is living, I believe, in what used to be a convent, and they experience many paranormal events or occurrences. So this is a bit of an update on some of the things that have been going on. Things have been going missing lately around our house. One morning, I was getting ready for the day with my husband, and we were about to leave for the day, and I couldn't find the car keys. In our bedroom, I have a white vanity table to do my makeup, and in the left bottom drawer, I always put the car keys in there, and they weren't in there. We looked everywhere. I had to go down to our basement and why is there a basement? Okay, I'm sorry. Basements just creep me out. Maybe it's the movie's fault. I blame movies. I had to go down to our basement and get the extra spare car key so we could leave. Why do you leave your spare keys in the basement out of all places? I'm sorry. I'm being judgmental. You know what? You do you. None of my business. What do I care? You can put them wherever you want. Yeah, not my house, right? At nighttime, when we get home, the keys were laying outside our house door that we would have had to walk right over the car keys when we left the house. My husband and I and our children would have had to step on the key. Okay, so it was in a very obvious spot. Got it. We would have seen them. So weird. Now, I always try to be logical. I am a firm believer in the paranormal, but I always look for another reason first. Same. I got you. So who knows, I could have dropped the keys the day before and not realized, or when we all left the house that morning, maybe none of us saw the keys on the ground. Okay, I like that you're trying to be logical with it. Okay, you're like, okay, this could have a logical or rational explanation. Okay. But other things go missing as well. My husband and myself have seen shadow people in our room late at night. The shadow people that I have been seeing in the last few weeks on and off are shadows that move quickly across the room. Of course, we are not 100% sure it is a shadow person, but we both believe so. We have seen shadow people in our bedroom a few other times before. My daughters have sleepovers. Sometimes it feels like every weekend my daughters have someone over and one of the girls brought a Ouija board. What? Por qué? And I was not aware of it. She was not aware of it until the next morning. It's not something I really want my children playing with. Yeah, don't blame you, even though I have one back there, but I get it. I told them the dangers of it and to take it seriously if you're going to be daring enough to use the board. I just think, well, first of all, I don't think anyone should use the Ouija board if they're not ready, but definitely not kids. You know, because I feel like kids especially are more vulnerable. I don't know. That's just me. Last night, I kept hearing a little girl's voice talking, but I couldn't hear what she was saying. One of my daughters says that she thinks she hears a little girl in her bedroom. I wasn't sure if maybe it was a dream until I heard it too. Just some of the things that have been going on. Get rid of that Ouija board, first of all. Bless your home, sage the home, do something, but definitely tell your daughter to stop messing with that board, because no. And then hearing a little girl's voice, and then I've heard that there's no such thing as children like spirits or anything, that it's always like, okay, not always, but I've heard that it could be a demon trying to disguise itself as a child so it could earn your daughter's trust. Does that make sense? So that she could think, like, lure them, exactly, like trying to lure them, so they try to take the appearance or try to make themselves seem like a child so you could trust it. That's what happened with Annabelle. That's what we've been talking about. Annabelle, that's how she tricked those people to like accept it into their home, because it pretended to be the child of to be the spirit of a child, and then it turned out to be some demon that like started wreaking havoc. That's scary. That's terrifying. Hearing a little girl's voice, no gracias. I used to work in retail, and I was working a closing shift, and we had to clean, get everything ready for the next day. And I remember that all of us, because it was mostly females, we would all kind of walk out together to our cars because it was pretty late at night. And I remember we'd wait up by the front door so that whoever the manager was closing that night would, let us out and then lock the doors behind us. And I remember we were all waiting by the front door, and she was setting the alarm systems and getting everything ready. And she said that because I guess the alarm or the cameras tell you if there's motion still. And I mean, we would check the entire store to make sure there's no customers left inside. But she kept telling us, like, it's not letting me set the alarm because it says it's detecting movement. And like, we all checked again, and there was no one inside the store anymore. And she kept saying, like, that's so weird. There's no one here, but it's saying it's detecting movement. And I guess it wouldn't let her set the alarm until there was no movement and like it was ready to go. I'm not sure, but anywho, so we're all waiting by the front door. She went to like check one more thing. And while we were waiting by the door, out of the corner of my eye, I saw like a shadow run from like one end to the other, and like just run really fast, like shoom. And I turned, and then I look in front to one of my coworkers, and I told her, did you see that? Because she looked over too. So I go, did you see that? And she goes, yeah, I don't know what that was, but I saw like something run across, right? And I'm like, yeah. So I know she saw it too, but we both just kind of stared at each other, and we didn't really know what to make of it. And I think we don't want to freak anyone else out or freak each other out. So we were just like, yeah, that was weird. And then we just left. You guys let us know if you've ever seen a shadow person. Thank you for watching this video. Hope to see you next time. And yeah, until next time. Bye-bye.